Hey, how y'all doing out there? I'm back again with another video. Today I want to talk about, I want to do a revisit actually of the Google Pixel 3a XL. Now, I'm not a big Pixel fan. Honestly, I know there's a lot of people out there that probably are mostly because of the cameras. And then there are those that love that vanilla Android experience, that pure Android experience. So there's some people out there that definitely love the Pixel phones. I don't really have a problem with them, so to speak. But my thing is, I really don't like stock Android. I'm not a pure vanilla, Android type of person. I prefer a phone with a bunch of features. So that's just me. Everybody's different. But just want to do a quick revisit. Now, I do like this phone. Don't get me wrong. The phone is really nice, but it could never be my main phone. And not only because of the pure stock Android experience, which that would be the number one reason why I wouldn't want it, but there's other reasons I'll get into it. But just want to do a quick revisit of the Google Pixel 3a XL. Now this came out, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, back in 2019. I believe either 2019 or 2018. I'm not really sure the date right at the moment, but I think it went pretty well. It's a device I wanted to pick up because the Google Pixel 3 XL, that notch was just so hideous. I mean, that bathtub notch, it was horrible. So it was no way I was going to mess with that phone at all. And I know the phone performance overall is probably pretty good, but that notch was just a little bit too much. It was worse. Apple's was bad enough, but that notch was even worse than Apple's. And I don't know what Google was thinking to make that notch so bad like that. Now, when you think about this phone, now I'm telling you right now, if you're interested, if you're out there looking for a phone right now, you want a good quality phone and you love the stock Android experience, the price for this phone is really dirt cheap. Like I've seen it on eBay for $130 open box, $235 brand new, and between $75 and $90 refurbished. So I mean, if you're really looking for a dirt cheap price for an older phone, you found it here. It's dirt cheap, honestly. Now, me, I prefer either open box or brand new. That's just me. But if you can't really afford those and you want to do refurbished and pay 75 to 90 bucks, more power to you, to each his own. Now, this phone does come fully unlocked for all carriers, and you have a 6.6-inch OLED display with a resolution of 1080 by 2160, 402 pixels per square inch, an aspect ratio of 18.9. Now, keep in mind, there's no Quad HD resolution, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be honest with you. This POLED display is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it is really, really beautiful. I mean, the display on this is so gorgeous. It's so nice. Now, you do got these thick bezels at the top and the bottom. Now, I don't know why Google made them that big, but at least, there's no large bezels on the side. They're pretty much non-existent on the side, but they made them pretty big on the top and the bottom. Now, it would have made sense for me. I would have understood making them big on the bottom if there was a down-firing speaker at the on the front at the bottom. I would have understood it, but the speaker is at the bottom, so I don't know why they made the bezel that thick. It didn't make any sense to me. All right, now the one at the top is not too bad, but the one on the bottom is really, really thick. But this is a beautiful display. I mean, it really is. It's really, really beautiful, and this phone does get nice and bright. So I love that POLED display. If you're a person like me, you're all about that display, then you definitely gonna love the display on this device. Of course, you're getting always on display. Now, it's not very functional. It don't do anything except show you the time, the date, and your notifications. Let me show you real quick. It's not one of my favorite ones, but at least it has it. So you get the battery percentage, you get your time, the date, you get the temperature outside, and you get your notifications. But everything is in white. So it's just there. No big deal. I mean, it's boring, it's plain, it's non-functional. You don't get anything but that. You don't get different kinds. You can't change it. What you see is what you get when it comes to the always on display with this device. Now, it did get upgraded to Android 11, and it's going to get Android 12 because when it was released, it only had Android 9. So, of course, it got 10 and it has 11, and it's going to get Android 12. So, this phone is not out of date. It's going to be up to date it's going to be good for another 2 years. So, if you're interested in it, Don't be concerned about software updates because you're going to get them. All right. Because, to some people that matters. They want to make sure their phone has the latest version of, Android. And they want to make sure that they're still getting their security patches. So that matters to some people. All right. All right. Of course, you get the Snapdragon 670. Now, this is not a flagship device. This was pretty much a step down from the Pixel 3 XL. Okay. So it was like like a light, basically like a Pixel Lite, like Samsung does with the S10 Lite and the Note 10 Lite and all that. So this is a light version of a flagship device, but the 670 on here is not bad at all. It's not super fast, but then again, it's not super slow either. Everything opens up pretty well. Nice smooth animation. Maybe not fast enough for some people, but for the average person, you're not going to have a problem with the speed of it. Now, this app that I just opened always opens up slow because they always want to show you some type of, what do you call it? Some kind of commercial thing before they actually open it up. But for me, it's satisfactory. Like I said, if you're looking to save money, like I said, and you love the pure Android experience, you can't expect this phone, to perform like a flagship as far as speed when it doesn't have a flagship chipset in it. But it's adequate. It's definitely adequate. You're not going to find any lag in this phone at all. None whatsoever. But like I said, it's not the fastest, but I'm sure you'll be fine with that. Like I said, if you're just looking for something that you could afford and you love that pure Android experience. So performance is not a problem. For me, it's not. Like, I don't use it that often, but still, I love the phone mainly for the camera. The camera is really the greatest part in the display for me, and the battery life, of course. But I'll get to that. Okay, you're getting 4 gigs of RAM, not the most RAM in the world, but for the average person, that'll probably be fine. This phone was not made to be running high intensive games, so if you want to run, Asphalt 9, I would suggest you didn't, because you're not going to get so good a performance because it doesn't have that much RAM. So 4 gigs of RAM is all it has. 64 gigs of internal storage is what's on board. Now, they did have I believe 128 gig variant, but I got the 64 gig. I couldn't even find a 128. It's really hard to find those. People usually grab those pretty quickly. Now, the thing that I really always hated about Google phones, always hated, no expandable memory. I hate that. Always hated it, always will hate it, but it is what it is. They never had it, and it don't seem like they ever will. And that's a shame, because now they're eliminating, which a lot of people are not talking about, they're getting rid of unlimited storage with Google Photos. They're getting rid of that. So no more unlimited storage for Google Photos, videos, none of that. You're going to get maxed out at a certain amount, and then you're going to have to pay for additional. So that's going away. They're not even offering it for people that have the Pixel phones. I don't like that, but it is what it is. All right. Now, this is a good feature that comes with the phone. I wish all Android phones have this or develop this at some point. It's called call screening. Now, call screening is when you get a call, you tap the screen to call. Sorry. When you get a call, tap screen call, your Google Assistant screens the call and asks who's calling and why. This is what Google Assistant does. You don't have to do this. Okay? Now, you'll get a real-time transcript of how the caller responds. Once the caller responds, you can choose a suggested response. Pick up the call or hang up. Now, I would love that on my Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, because I'm constantly getting barraged by all these telemarketers calling my phone all the time. And I really wish I had call screening, because that would probably eliminate that, because they don't want to talk to no computer. They want to talk to a real person. But this would keep me from having to constantly block the calls all the time. And then the more I block, the more they keep calling. So I wish that, it had call screening. So that's a feature on this phone I really do like a lot. Then, of course, you have voice transcribe, meaning to capture speech and sound to see them as text on your screen. So say if you're in college and you got to listen to a professor and you can't write as fast as he's talking, or you can't understand everything he's saying, just put on your voice transcribe, and everything he's saying will be printed on your, text on your phone. So you can just look at it later and go over it. So that's cool. I like that. Of course, with the latest version of Android 11, it got screen recording, which is good. Now with the cameras, this is like probably one of the biggest areas that people buy this phone is because of the cameras. Now you're getting a 12.2 megapixel wide angle lens on the rear and an 8 megapixel wide angle on the front. So you're only getting two cameras, one on the back, one on the front. Now the rear camera can shoot in HDR at 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second and also 120 frames per second, which is slow motion. It also shoots in 4K at high resolution video with video stabilization. No 4K recording on the front camera and no 4K at 60 frames per second on the rear camera. So you're not getting any 4K video at all on the front camera, and you're not getting 4K at 60 frames on the rear camera, okay? But you can get 1080p at 60 frames per second on the rear. Now you are getting 4K at 30, but just not 4K at 60. So keep that in mind. If that matters to you, that might not matter to everybody. You're getting dual stereo speakers. Now, the thing, I wish that both speakers were on the front, but it's not. But the speakers sound adequate. They sound pretty good, not bad at all. Okay, they sound really good. They got good quality. All right. You're getting a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. It's on the top of the device, which I hate the placement, but at least you have a headphone jack for those of you that care about the headphone jack. And I know there's plenty of people out there that actually do care about having a phone with a headphone jack. All right. Now you're getting Bluetooth 5.0. Of course, it has NFC. You're getting a 3,700 milliamp battery that has 18 watt fast charging. Now I'm gonna tell you about the battery life. The battery life on this phone is excellent. You can easily get a day and a half to 2 days, and that's with heavy usage. So that was my average usage for this phone, a day and a half to 2 days. So if you're looking for a phone that's cheap, dirt cheap, which it is, great cameras, great display, pure stock Android, and great battery life, this is your phone right here. All right. Of course, also you're getting a fingerprint sensor on the rear, as you can see, and it works very, very well, very fast, very accurate. And there's going to be a lot of people out there that prefer an actual physical fingerprint sensor. Not everybody likes the fingerprint sensor on the display, because some of them can be a little buggy and not work all that well, and you get misses and all that. But this one, you never have to worry about it. Every time you touch it, it's instant. Boom, comes right on. Boom, boom, boom. So the fingerprint sensor on here is excellent. Okay. Now, of course, keep in mind, these are the things that you're not getting on this device. You're not getting any wireless charging for those that care about that. I'm the type of person, I prefer a phone with wireless charging, so that would be a big deal for me. No face unlock, which I don't understand because it has a front-facing camera, but there's no face unlock. You're not getting no Quad HD display, which I spoke about earlier, no expandable memory, no ultra-wide lens on the rear camera, no 1080p at 60 frames per second on the selfie camera, no 4K recording at all on the selfie camera, no 4K recording at 60 frames per second on the rear camera. So those are all the things that are missing from this device. But I will say again, if you're looking for a dirt cheap phone, which you're going to get with this phone because it's dirt cheap, I already said $75, $90, $130, $230 brand new. If you want a great display, pure stock Android, even the build quality on here is good, even though it's plastic, it has good build quality, nice sounding speakers, okay, great battery life, and great cameras, you want to check out the Google Pixel 3a XL. Okay, this phone is still relevant, and also keep in mind it has Android 11. It's going to get Android 12, so it ain't like it's obsolete and it's not going to get no more software updates. This phone is still clearly relevant. I know nobody talks about it at all out there, so I'm gonna talk about it because I really like this phone. Now, it's pretty boring for me because it don't have no features really, but it has its good things about it. Like I said, the battery life is excellent. The speakers are really good quality. I love the display. Battery life is great. The cameras are great, and the overall performance of it is really nice and smooth. Not the fastest, but very, very smooth. Okay. So definitely check this out if you're looking for those things that I mentioned. I do appreciate you all taking the time to view this content, and I hope you guys are staying safe. This was my revisit of the Google Pixel 3a XL. Keep safe out there, guys. God bless, and peace.